All right, today we're going to step into what you might call a digital sanctuary, this huge virtual space where faith now lives and breathes online. We're going to take a tour of its different rooms, from the bustling community halls to these quiet little chapels of personal reflection, all to understand how millions of people are really redefining their spiritual lives in this digital age.
For centuries, faith had a physical address, right? A building on a street corner. But today, for a whole lot of people, that address has changed. It's not brick and mortar anymore, it's a URL. It's a click, a screen that opens up an entire world of belief, and it's perfectly tailored to them. And that shift? It's completely reshaping what it means to be a person of faith. So first, you've got the mainstream hubs, which are kind of like the digital version of a sprawling town square. These websites are really designed to be a one-stop shop, a super welcoming space for the everyday believer who's just looking for practical advice, maybe a sense of community, and some quick answers. Then, of course, there are the quiet corners. These are the digital chapels built for introspection. Here, the focus totally shifts away from the big community and zooms in on the individual, offering tools and articles for just deepening your own personal walk and figuring out life's complexities.
And then, boom, you find the bold, assertive digital pulpits. These places call for action and cultural engagement. This isn't a spot for quiet thinking, it's a launch pad.
And finally, faith also lives in these academic digital libraries. They're built for scholars, pastors, and really serious students of theology, people who are looking for rigorous professional-level resources. Okay, so let's actually step inside this digital sanctuary and get a real feel for its different rooms. Each one has its own unique purpose and personality, and it's catering to a very specific kind of believer. So our first stop is going to be the main hall. Our first stop is a site like Christianity.com. I want you to think of it as the grand entrance to our digital sanctuary. It's like a massive online community center with a big digital welcome mat rolled out for a huge, diverse audience. I mean, just look at the sheer breadth of topics here. This is not just heavy theology. It's a practical toolkit for modern life. It's got guidance on everything from mental health and parenting to current events and even Bible trivia. It's faith designed for everyday life. And the tone really reflects that practical goal. See, it's less about challenging you with dense scholarship and way more about offering a steady, encouraging hand for your everyday questions and struggles. Okay, now let's step away from that bustling main hall and into a quieter, more contemplative space. Here, in what we're calling the personal quest wing of our digital sanctuary, we find two very different paths for the introspective seeker. This slide just captures the two approaches so perfectly. On the left, you see this focus on modern life skills and emotional honesty, framing faith through really accessible concepts like self-advocacy or even a chemistry lab for spiritual feelings. But then on the right, it's a deep dive into ancient roots and tradition, and it's creating a very specific home for people who feel spiritually dislocated and want to wrestle with the big questions, not just get easy answers. All right, deep breath. We're leaving that quiet space and entering an environment that feels way more like a rally or a training ground. This is the bold pulpit, the home of the action-oriented believer. Here, the messaging is direct, it's energetic, and it's unapologetically action-oriented. The language itself is designed to provoke a response, to kind of jolt you out of what they might see as complacency. The focus is often on very practical, real-world issues, and it particularly targets men. It's framed in these confrontational, almost challenging terms. It's directly connecting that idea of physical discipline with spiritual discipline. So the core belief here, the bottom line, is a total rejection of a quiet, private faith. It's a call to live your faith out loud, to be public, to be vocal, and to be deeply engaged with, and yeah, often pushing against the culture around you. All right, for our final stop on this tour, we're heading into the library, the hallowed halls of the digital seminary. Now, this is a space for deep academic study, and it's not built for the casual browser, but for a very specialized audience of leaders and scholars. How do you know you're in the seminary? Well, you start seeing words like this. Platforms like Word by Word are built around serious theological and ministerial training. Homiletics isn't a term you just hear in a casual conversation. It's the specific language for people who study the actual craft of preaching. And the content? Yeah, that just confirms it. We're not talking about general life advice here. We're digging into the best academic tools, the responsible use of AI in ministry, and even the nitty-gritty of how to write a class syllabus. This is for the person whose faith is also their profession.
Okay, so we've toured all the different rooms of our digital sanctuary. Now let's just step back and look at the blueprint of this entire structure to really understand the landscape of online faith. This table just lays out the 4 distinct personas we've met so perfectly. Each one, as you can see, represents a different corner of the digital sanctuary, and it serves a specific need with its own unique focus and tone. It's the same faith, but it's 4 completely different user experiences.
So look, if you take away just one thing from our tour, it's got to be this. Online Christianity is not a monolith. The digital world has allowed a single faith to fragment and specialize into just countless expressions, creating this thriving ecosystem where pretty much everyone can find the exact spiritual niche they're looking for.
And this all leaves us with one big, final, provocative question. We've seen the hub, the chapel, the pulpit, and the library. But as our lives become even more digital, you just have to wonder, what new rooms are being designed right now? What new expressions of faith will pop up next in this ever-expanding digital space?